This week in Riley's garden, 5 awesome vegetables you can direct sow into your garden every single fall for great harvest. Plus, about midway through this video, I'm going to be giving you a great garden hack you can use every year when you're direct sowing those seeds. Number 1 on our list, sugar snap peas. Heirloom variety snap pea that is amazing. Grow it up a trellis like this. They get big, but they are so easy. Just put a hole into your moist soil. Once the soil starts to cool, once the temperatures start to cool, about 1.5 knuckles deep. Drop in a couple of these peas, cover it over. You'll get great germination almost all the time. Key tip here is wait till your soil temperatures have cooled down. Your snap peas are going to germinate much better in cooler weather, and they're going to taste a lot better as well. Number 2 on my list, alpine radishes. These are a daikon radish from Johnny's Seeds, but any radishes you want to plant in the fall are a great addition to your garden. You can see I've drawn 2 lines here with a stick. One line is sort of where delineates where my snap peas are planted on this side of this line, and then on this side of this line is where I'm going to be planting these daikon radish. Now, these daikon radish seed spacing should be about 6 inches apart, so I am just going to be putting some little holes with my finger about 6 inches apart and planting my daikon radish in these holes. I'll thin these to 1 plant per every 6 inches, and those daikon radish will get to about that big. I'll have more than enough than I'll need for my kimchi. The next fall vegetable on our list are beets. And I'll be 100% honest, I grow beets just as much for the beet greens as I do for the beets themselves. I love to go out while these beets are growing, clip off about half of the greens growing on these beets, saute those greens with whatever vegetable, whatever dinner we're having. Eat those greens with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. It just reminds me of growing up in Maine so much every fall. I can remember having beet greens just that way. But I'm going to go ahead and plant these now. Now you'll notice that I like to draw lines in my soil to give me an idea of how much space I have, where I'm going to grow everything based on the spacing of the vegetables that I'm growing. You might have trouble growing straight lines in your garden beds, or maybe even just drawing straight lines on a piece of paper. So you can use this trick. I'm going to start with my garden stick here at the other end of my bed, and I'm going to look at where I want that line to finish. Now I want to finish that line right here. So I'm going to start my line here, and I'm going to stare right at that point. I'm not going to watch the stick as I draw this line. I'm going to stare right at the end point. I'm going to bring my stick right to that point. And you will draw a perfect line every time. In fact, you can pause this video, get a piece of paper out, put an X on the left-hand side of the piece of paper, put an X on the right-hand side of the piece of paper. Put your pencil or pen right on that left-hand side X and stare right at that other X. And then just looking at that right side X, bring your pen or pencil right to that point. You'll draw a straight line every time. Next on our list, Swiss chard. I do a lot of cooking, and I make several different bean and pasta soups. I make some vegetable soups, and a lot of times it calls for kale or collard greens or something like that chopped up to give the soup some body. And by far, my favorite to add to those soups is Swiss chard, which is why I love to grow it in the garden. Now, bonus, this particular variety is the rainbow variety called Bright Light, so this will have all kinds of different colored stems. But if you don't grow Swiss chard in your garden, give it a try. Very versatile in the kitchen. Last but certainly not least, baby bok choy. Baby bok choy you can grow 3 different ways. You could grow it just as a little miniature bok choy plant, cut it off at the bottom, slice it in half, saute that up with olive oil and ginger and and some minced garlic. Goes great with a lot of meals. You could let it grow up bigger and just peel off those outer leaves, saute those up with minced garlic and olive oil. Also great with any meal. Or you could let those grow oversized, slice it off as a complete vegetable, cut it in half, steam it, cook it with olive oil. Tons of different ways to eat this plant, cook this plant, and grow this plant. Baby bok choy, one of my absolute favorites. Everyone, those are the 5 vegetables you can direct seed in your garden every fall for great harvests, great food for you and your family. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you couldn't draw a straight line before, I hope you can do it now. See everybody next week.